This is a Lego machine that builds Minecraft creepers from scratch. It has 10 hoppers of Lego bricks that feed an assembly line where each piece is assembled. The machine finishes a new creeper every 11 seconds. That's almost 8,000 per day. If that weren't enough, the creepers are then loaded onto a conveyor belt that drops them into a catapult to be launched. 17 motors all work in sync to make this happen. You'll be totally amazed, but Steve is not going to be happy. The final product is complex, so let me break down what is happening. First, I made a creeper so I'd know what the factory would have to do. It uses just 10 common parts that you probably have in your collection. For the face, I printed a bunch on sticker paper. I tried a hole punch, but scissors worked better. With an idea of what the factory needed, I got to work. This first section will prepare the creeper's feet to connect to the main body. There are ramps for 2 hoppers and a tunnel so the 1x2 bricks can be placed under the 2x3 plate. I made a couple of tall hoppers so they could hold a ton of bricks. This design is adapted from my fellow builder JK Brickworks, who had a similar design for 1x1 plates. The transparent pieces will allow us to see the parts falling and alert us to when the hopper needs a refill. These parts keep the bricks from bunching up while inside the hopper, since they allow the part to just barely fit. They're easy to fill up by hand or with a tool that I'll show you later. Watch the pieces appear at the bottom when I drop them in. And here's what it looks like when looking through the transparent pieces. When the gear racks go to their retracted location, the slots are refilled thanks to gravity. Next, I needed a long conveyor belt. I tried these chains, these other chains, tracks, and more, but the creepers kept catching on them. So I settled on this instead. We're gonna need another base plate. There's a ton of functionality built into this custom conveyor. When the gears on top spin, the conveyor moves the creepers along, and the gears on bottom raise stoppers that will stop the creepers at each station on the assembly line. I'll show it to you with motors in a second, but before that, I started to prepare the assembly stations. I built a few variations of this same design. Since these parts will be pressed into place, we'll need supports in the vertical direction. I used transparent parts wherever possible, even Technic beams, so that the build process could be seen easily. This was the hardest challenge of this entire build. These all hinge right now, but I'll fix that later. Here's the main section of tiles the creeper will slide across. Okay, back to the custom conveyor. This long axle is connected to a motor and has lots of bevel gears on it. Once I get all the gears meshed on the right teeth, you can see that this motor controls the blue pieces to stop the creepers on the conveyor. Things are coming together, but there's way better things ahead. I can't wait until these creepers are built so they can hunt Steve with all their sneaky ways. On a more serious note, you know who else likes to hunt for things like your personal data using sneaky tactics? Cybercriminals. Which leads me to introduce NordVPN, the sponsor of this video. NordVPN helps protect you from cybercriminals who use malware, ransomware, credential stuffing, and more to steal your personal data, such as login credentials for your bank, email, or work accounts. Nord protects you at home or abroad using its next-gen technology for data encryption, all while offering blazing speeds through Nord Link. It's like having a full suit of netherite armor enchanted with blast protection 4. Creepers can't get to you, and thanks to NordVPN, cybercriminals can't either. Nord has a lot more to offer beyond data privacy too. If you're a gamer, you can game confidently, knowing your connection is secure and that you'll be able to avoid DDoS attacks and bandwidth throttling without affecting latency. If you travel, you can take your home browsing experience with you wherever you go with just the click of a button. It'll be like you're at home on your favorite couch, watching videos like this on YouTube. Nord is awesome in the fact that they allow you to protect a bunch of devices with a single account, and their app is available for every major platform. You can get a really good exclusive deal on the 2-year NordVPN plan by navigating to nordvpn.com/brickmachines. You'll get 4 extra months for free too. And if you don't like the service for any reason, Nord has a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Go get NordVPN today. Now, where were we? Ah yes, the conveyor belt. Well, I ended up motorizing the actual rubber bands with this. As the motor rotates, all the bevel gears do too. They mesh with the bevel gears connected to the rubber bands. The benefit of using long axles like this is that each output sees a similar amount of backlash relative to the motor. It's an important building technique for machines that was key for this build. Let's test this. The creepers don't catch and they move along great, plus the stoppers work as planned. Time to add more hoppers and part dispensers, specifically for this section of the creeper. One goes on this side and a couple more on the other side. So check this out, as the feet and main 2x3 plate come out of station 1, they'll come to this station. Then tiles will be dispensed and pushed onto the creeper. But to make sure they are aligned, I added this. It lets the creeper go underneath, but aligns the tiles to the creeper. Here's another fun build technique. Plates with holes and tiles with holes allow Technic axles to be placed inside. Plus, they have the right spacing for gearing. This will help with achieving the goal of using just one motor to dispense the parts for every station at the same time, except for the first station. I added a couple more gear racks and finished the gearing. Spinning one axle pushes both tiles onto the creeper at once. That's cool, but it gets way better. Hang tight to see it. More hoppers and gear racks incoming. These last ones are offset by a half stud so that the creeper head and 2x2 tile are still aligned to the center of the conveyor belt. This is looking great so far. Check it out. When this motor spins, every gear rack will push a part into each station of the assembly line, even for the one on the opposite side. Now that's oddly satisfying. The dispensed parts are going to need to be aligned too, or else they'll just shoot off like this. So I made a custom alignment wall for each station that will aid in the assembly. Time to get the rest of the press supports connected and fix that hinging issue. This piece helped, but it needed more, so I added these 3 Technic connector assemblies. Much better. I've talked all about the creeper parts being pressed together, but now I'm finally going to show how that's done. This assembly will move up and down. If bevel gears aren't the star of this build, these 2 parts would be. Just like the many round bricks, plates, and tiles you've seen throughout this build, these help to eliminate parts being misaligned. Variations of this design will be perfect for pressing each part. I attach them to the machine like this. Those look great. Each station needed very specific requirements for its press, so each of these had to be powered separately. I had a few NXT motors laying around, and they would be perfect for this. I connected them to the Technic frame and each press axle. Then I added these gears for proper spacing and for easy manual control when needed. Now that I had a better idea of what the machine would look like, I could finally motorize Station 1 using a medium motor and a chain. The machine is almost complete, but you know what we're missing? A catapult to fling the finished creepers into Minecraft to chase Steve. Don't worry, I'll tile off all these base plates to make them look nice. I needed another conveyor to lift the creepers into the catapult. So check this out. When the creeper is finished being built, it'll transfer from one conveyor to the other. After reaching the top, it'll drop into the waiting catapult. I actually explained exactly how this catapult works in my last video, so check out that video after this one. Here's the rest of the transparent hoppers for each type of creeper piece. Connecting those went pretty quickly. The last things to connect were the controllers, 3 EV3s and 2 NXTs. I connected these high up so that my camera could see all the cool workings behind the machine where wires wouldn't get in the way. The EV3s will communicate with Bluetooth, but I also gave this a try. It's a communication system using light sensors to send and receive signals. The main EV3 will communicate with the NXTs using this. 713 lines of code later, the program was done. I ran 5 power cords through this wire conduit so it wouldn't run out of power. Then I tiled it off to make it look nice. Here's one part going through the build first so you can see each station, and then I'll show you every station running at the same time. Let's get some creepers to each station and run the whole machine, and get the hoppers filled up too. Finally, time for the catapult. Ha! Take that, Steve. And that. And that. Don't subscribe. Huh? I'm kind of kidding, but actually sharing this video is the way to help me the most, and I'd really appreciate it. Check out one of these other awesome builds too. Thanks for watching.